guys, it's Dr. Carmen Bryant. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. To all the new subscribers, thank you so much for being here and supporting me. And I just want to come on really quick because I didn't have an opportunity to post earlier that today I wanted to just briefly talk about some of the comments or some of the emails that I've been getting, which is, Dr. C, I'm listening to the videos, you get the logics of it. I understand, I know I need to go, I just can't go. Every time I go, I come back, I just can't get away. Well, let's look at why, at some of the different situations as to why you can't leave the relationship. Well, number one, you have to understand that a relationship with a narcissist is not a normal relationship. It is very toxic and it is all wrong, put it that way. For you in your mind, you went into the relationship hoping for something that would never be. You had, dreams and ideas of how you wanted this relationship to be, but that is not what the narcissist came into the relationship for. The narcissist came in knowing that he or she was going to manipulate when they came. They knew that there was something that they wanted, and they knew that they were going to play the game because this is a game that they play. And so it is a very toxic relationship. Number one, you're probably, and most of you are, trauma bonded. Trauma bonding is also another term for Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome meaning that you are emotionally in bondage or hostage to the toxic person, in this case the narcissist, and by means of physical or emotional or psychological abuse. And so you are literally addicted to and in bondage to this individual. Your every need, your every emotional need is being met by this individual. Is really not being met, but is being manipulated by this individual. So you have to remember, you have dopamine and serotonin, the chemicals in your brain, and as they start to drop, you may feel sad, you feel, but these are the chemicals that give you that sense of well-being, that happiness, the feelings, the good feelings of goodness, good, feeling good. And then the oxytocin is the chemicals that bond you to people or bond you to drugs, the addiction, that's the chemical that causes you to be bonded or addicted. So, for example, when a mother has a baby, the oxytocin is released and it creates the bond. She bonds with that baby. Well, not for a narcissist, of course. And so many of you are trauma bonded to the narcissist through emotional and or physical abuse. And so you're literally addicted to the narcissist and will defend them. A lot of you will defend them or make excuses for the narcissist. Well, they're having a bad day, or I can honestly vouch for them and say, okay, but you have to hold them accountable. It doesn't matter, I can vouch for them or not, you hold them accountable for what they're doing. So most of you are trauma bonded to that individual. And when you get away, those levels is like the drug levels in your system, or the dopamine and the serotonin levels begin to drop, the oxytocin begins to drop. And so you need a fix, just like a drug addict, you need a fix, whether it's them cussing you out, whether you get into an argument. It doesn't have to be a positive experience either, positive or negative. And all of a sudden, those levels back up. I knew I left for a reason, but as soon as the levels drop, guess what? You're right. So you are playing this dangerous game with yourself. And a lot of you you're back and forth. It's that cognitive dissonance. 1 minute you hate them, the next minute you really love them. The next minute you hate them, the next minute you love them. Well, the only reason why I did that is because, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and that's the only reason why, and I hate them, but you're playing this very dangerous game. A narcissist, they're not changing. They are who they are, and they're not going to change. And so you're playing this dangerous game with yourself, because they're not going to change. You're playing the game with yourself, which causes you to be more and more addicted and trauma bonded to this individual. Now, second, and I'll probably have second, third, I might lose count. But the another thing is as some of you have been through domestic violence classes or the training, and the power and control wheel, or in the power and control wheel is the, when it comes to abuse, and it's a matter of power and control, which it is for the narcissist, you have different types of abuse, which a lot of them do all of them. You have the emotional or the psychological abuse, you have the degrading, the down, the trauma bonding part. You have financial abuse. Someone asked me about that. I am gonna talk about that. You have physical abuse. Now, some of you assume that physical abuse is only when they put their hands on you. Physical abuse is not just them putting their hands on you or hitting you or grabbing you, pinching you, thumping you, squeezing your arm, whatever, but physical abuse is also if they block you and won't let you out of a space, a room, a door, blocking you, jumping in your face. Some of you guys said that that the narcissist will run in your face and ask, who you talking to, but they get like really, really, really close to your face, and they're spitting in your Ooh, anybody can hate that when someone starts spitting and that spit hits you on that lip. Oh, you ready to fight. And that's just in a regular conversation. I can't hear anything that you're saying. So imagine you have this narcissist that's in your face is spitting while they're talking. Some of you guys have described that. Spitting in your face while they're talking and they're angry, and you're like, I can't even focus. I don't know what they're saying. But that right there is actually physical abuse. When they block you, when they stand in your face, when they run in your face, and what's the first thing they say? I'm not physically abusing you. I'm not abusing you at all. I never touched you. It doesn't have to be touch. So for those of you that don't know, you have medical abuse where they won't allow you. There have been people that have been brutally beaten, broken bones, head fractures, but refuse to go to the hospital because they don't want to get them in trouble. But yet you are now in need of medical attention, but you're afraid to get them in trouble because if you go, you may have to report or you'll lie. When you go, you won't be honest to tell who did what to you, because they're going to have to report it. And so some of you won't even seek medical attention, or they won't allow you to seek medical attention because they know that you will tell, or you might tell, and they may be discovered. So they deny you medical attention because they know that you may tell what's going on in that home. Another physical abuse is not allowing you to go out of the house, or taking the keys away, won't allow you to go to work, cause you to lose your job, Answer the phone. Another power and control tactic is answering the phone for you, telling your job that you're going to call in, or she or he won't be at work. Stalking. They'll stalk. So they're educational abuse. They won't allow you to get an education to try to get a job. So let's talk about the financial abuse. For some of you guys, and I don't knock it. I'm not a homemaker. I'm not one of those type that likes to stay at home and be a housewife. That's not what I want to do. But a homemaker, that's a job by itself. That's a PhD. If you ask me, to take care of the home, to manage the home, to take care of the children, that is a job. And I commend men and women, whoever's doing it, I commend you. My hat's off to you. I'm just not one. My hat's off to you, because that is a job in itself. Well, some narcissists look for people particularly like that because that will require you to be totally dependent on them. That's their whole thing, to get you totally dependent on them emotionally. So your emotions are regulated by me. I determine when you're happy, when you're not happy. I'm the one that makes you laugh. No one else makes you laugh. I determine what you watch and what you read. I determine where you go and when you don't go where you go. So I'm in control. Financial abuse, meaning that they won't tell you what's in the bank account, how much money they make, what bills they're paying. So you have no ideas what bills. You don't even know how to pay bills. And that's not a bad thing for some people. You don't know how to pay bills because they've always taken care of it. But I encourage you guys to learn basic, even if you're still in the relationship, learn basic. If you go to classes, whatever you have to do to sneak and do it, learn about money management, learn about paying bills, learn about, money investing, putting money aside, but a lot of you don't have that skill. So that means it becomes scary to try to leave because you've never had a job, you've never had income. And for some people, believe it or not, they don't want to work. And so there are some people that I have met that choose, I'm not getting ready to leave because I don't want to work. I'll take, out of the two evils, I'll take this one. And they're miserable and they complain all the time. And so the thing is why talk about it? That's a choice that you've made now. You've made the choice because you don't want to go get a job. You don't want to start over for yourself. That means you have to be responsible. You have to take care of yourself. You have to get an education, get some kind of skill set, get a job, get up and go get a job. And I really don't know a lot of men that are like that, but I'm not saying there's not, because I know there are, but there are women that are like that. Women like that, and they will choose to stay in an abusive relationship because It's convenient to them, but they've groomed you that way. They have made you totally dependent on them. And so to leave the narcissist, I told you before, it's a cost. You pay a price, and you pay a price in your healing. So when you choose to get free, freedom is not free. Freedom and healing is something just like an addict has to do every day. And a lot of you guys are maintaining your sobriety. Hey, Dr. C, 21 days, narc free, no contact, 2 years, no contact. But do you see, this is the same thing they do in AA programs. And so think about it. You guys are drug free. You're drug free, person free, no contact. And I commend each and every one of you. The shorter the time, the longer the time, it doesn't matter, but you are no contact. And I am so proud of you guys. But for some of you guys, it is hard, but the reason why it's so hard is because you're going to have to make a choice. And that choice is going to be a hard choice. And you're still, a lot of times when people get off drugs, especially like meth, you're going to relapse a lot of times before you finally, when I smoke cigarettes, I relapsed a whole bunch of times before I actually decided, okay, this is for real. And when I got for real and decided to stop smoking, boy, I'm telling you, I smell cigarette smoke in China. I could smell it in all over the globe. I smelled it. My nose was so keen, But what I'm telling you guys is when you make the choice, stick to the choice. Now, the thing about it is, a lot of you have never worked. A lot of you are on Social Security. You did let me know you're on Social Security. You don't have the finances. You literally are stuck between a rock and a hard place. And that's why I'm telling you guys. And what I'm going to start doing is looking for, I don't know if I posted in earlier videos or not. You go online and look for the National Domestic Violence Hotline. They have domestic violence support agencies and YWCA that help people get a fresh start. They will help people get a fresh start. Sad to say, I don't see a lot of them for men. Most of them are for women and children. And so, but you contact, the shelters. Some of you guys, I'm not ever going into a shelter. Okay, then you're never going to be free. You may have to start from square one. You may have to start from the foundation, tear the whole structure down and get to the foundation, because it's time for you to heal. It's time for you to get on with your life, meaning that the first major decision you're going to have to make is whether I stay or whether I go. And some of you are going to have to start from the very bottom, whether it's in a shelter program to build yourself up, to get you into the job market, to get you an education, to get you a skill in order to, I think here in the state of Washington, they have I can't think of what the program name is, but it's like a fresh start program, for people that have lost their income. And they try to assist you with getting some type of income in to sustain yourself, and you may, what? Believe it or not, there are very wealthy narcissists that when they love bomb you, they know how to do it. Take you to the finest restaurants, take you to the most beautiful hotels and resorts, and travel around the world. They've exposed you to a lifestyle that they know for a fact that you can't sustain. And so for you to leave that lifestyle and have to go into a shelter and start all over again with nothing, they know that 9 times out of 10, you won't do it, because you've been exposed to a lifestyle, and I'm not talking to everyone, but you're exposed to a lifestyle that you can't sustain for yourself, to lose everything. But it's better to lose everything and start all over than to lose your mind, lose yourself, or even kill yourself, to lose a life, because you are packing with valuable information. And so hopefully I answer some questions and address some things, but find a good legal advocate, find a good domestic violence advocate, find YWCA domestic violence program, some type of program where you can reach out and make a informed decision as to how. You have to come up with a plan. You have to come up with an exit strategy. You have to come up with a plan, especially in the states in which, the community property states. And those of you that have children and property with a narcissist, you can't just jump up and leave, because they can get you for abandonment. They can get you for kidnapping. So you got to make a wise choice. Don't react, respond, but make an informed decision. Took me years and years to put my plan together. But when I put the plan together, it worked out for me. It was hard, and it was an arduous arduous journey, but it took me years to put the plans in step, and then I left. And so for those of you that are making that, sometimes you have to put the plan together and talk to people so that they can help you put this plan together to leave. And I think someone asked me to come on and tell my personal journey. You have to remember, sometimes it's not good to tell all the details of your personal journey. And the reason why, I give you guys enough information to let you guys know that obviously I'm a survivor, just like many of you are. But sometimes it's not good to tell everybody the details of your personal journey. Number one, some of the people are still alive. So it's not good. And you have to remember that some of the people are narcissists. And so even on here, you tell your stories, each and every person think you're talking about them because they all have the same characteristics. So sometimes it's not wise to tell all the details of your story. I'm quite sure by now you figured out that, yep, she is a survivor like the rest of us. Absolutely. Who knows details like that except for a person that has lived it themselves. But sometimes it's not good to oftentimes it's not good to tell all the details of your journey and all the details of your experience, because remember, you still have people that are alive. So these people are not deceased. These people are still living, and so out of respect, you don't want to tell everything in detail. You don't want to do that. And so hopefully that answered that question. And out of respect, that, you want to respect people's privacy. You don't want to go all in detail like that. That's not a good thing. That's why I tell you guys, be careful what you post on YouTube, because some of you guys are way too much information and you're putting it on a public forum that goes global. And some of you guys are very, very detailed. And some of you guys are actually using your real name. At least change your name. But still, that is way, way too much information. And if people that know you are on there, some of you guys got people on there that know you that are reading it, you become bait. You're narc bait. And so they're watching you. And you're giving a lot of information and telling a lot of a lot of things about yourself personally. So just be careful, because not everybody that's on YouTube channels are survivors. A lot of them are narcissists that are on a hunt. They're on a hunt. Remember that. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. As you guys know, per request of the subscribers, all you guys, my family tribe, I now have podcast. I am under Podbean. So you go look on the Podbean. I just got accepted to Google Play. iTunes is pending. It takes a little while for them to review your material. Well, it doesn't take a long time, but it takes a little while for them to review your material to make sure that what you're going to submit and the topics you're going to talk about is appropriate for. So it's iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, Radio, just got accepted with Google Play. Who else? Pandora. You guys, Pandora. But Podbean. So you guys, the very first episode is the radio interview between myself and Bryant Corbett. And so I will be making more podcasts that won't be on YouTube. And so go to podcast, go to Podbean, go look me up, go to Google Play, go look me up. Keep checking back and forth to iTunes and Spotify and iHeart and who else? Pandora, and look for it. Just look me up and you'll find the very first episode is the radio interview. And so just stay tuned, so go and subscribe there. And then, so you can subscribe to my podcast channel. And it is Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Dr. Carmen Bryant. So it is Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. You will see my picture on there. You guys know my picture. So you'll see my picture on there. So you guys go and subscribe or hit, the follow me on there, so that, because some of the podcasts over there that I'm going to do won't be on YouTube. So for those of you that, you guys have to be patient with me too, because I do this, and so it takes a minute. That I won't be able to do on a daily basis. I have to do that in the privacy where where I have my earphones and the microphone where it's not loud. I can't do it in a setting like I do with the YouTube channel. So you guys just make sure it alerts you when I upload the podcast. And so what I put on the podcast won't be on YouTube. So you guys go subscribe to that channel too. So thank you guys so much for the support. And you guys know I have a book. It is Overcoming, no it's not. It is Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection. It is on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. You can get a Kindle, you can purchase, or ebook you can purchase. I just had HarperCollins will be, I think they're going to gonna be, I don't know if they're gonna be the publisher or they're gonna start hosting the book. I have to go back and look what was said, and I think they're gonna advertise, they're gonna do a book review. So thank you guys so much for purchasing my book. They're gonna do a professional book review by the publisher of the company. So I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys for supporting me. Make sure you guys get the book, get it for your teenagers so they can get a head start in life. You know, they get some information that we didn't get. You know, they won't be ignorant, you know, dating. You know, they'll be smart people dating. And so also my Facebook page, which is Psychological Health Consultants and Services. That's my professional page. Go over to Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. That's my book page. And I will be posting, you know, if you go to my community tab, on the community tab, it has all the podcasts, hosts that I should be under. And you guys go to Podbean. If you go to Podbean, you'll find me on Podbean and just look for Overcoming Narcissist Abuse and you'll see my picture. You'll recognize me. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. Make sure you look under the links under YouTube at www.betterhelp.com/Dr. Carmen. It is a sponsored that is a sponsored advertisement, and that is for those of you that are seeking counselors that provide counseling to those people that are in areas or not satisfied with the counselors or can't get the counselors for a small fee on a monthly basis, which is less expensive than, you know, coaching with me. But you can find a licensed therapist that can contact you via Skype, FaceTime, telephonic, and you will get counseling by a licensed counselor. When you put your information in there, what you're looking for, you know, look for someone. You can say if you specialize in narcissist abuse, but you really won't find that terminology a lot because they're still learning. But look for those that are trauma professional, understand domestic violence and psychological abuse. And some of you guys have given really good reviews and say you really like it. You got started on your counseling, and I'm so proud of you guys for taking that step forward. Every step is just like you know, with drug addiction and recovery. Every day is a new day. Every day is a new day. Get up in the mirror and say, you know what, I love you. Looking good, girl. You know what? You all right with me, dude. You know, but say something nice to yourself. You know, every day, give yourself a word of affirmation. You know, say something to yourself. You know, I'm beautiful. I'm smart. My mind is sharp. You know, my mind is clearing from the fog. Start telling your brain what you want your brain to do. You know, go in the mirror and tell your brain what you want your brain to do. Insert those thoughts in your head and start thinking that way. You know, start thinking that way. And as you keep turning those thoughts over, you'll start behaving that way. And then you'll start feeling that way. Trust me, I'm a therapist sometimes. So thank you guys so much for joining me. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And I will talk to you guys on Sunday live between 8 and 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, which is the West Coast time. I'll be on live and I'll be open to questions and answers. As always, you guys go be great.